What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with another Tales of Crestoria video. I actually don't remember the last time I made a Crestoria video. But there was finally a new post to kind of talk about here. About an hour ago, they made another notice update. So we're going to go over everything here and talk about what this could mean when it comes to when this game could be releasing. So an update on release date, we have... Okay, yeah, you just said the same thing twice. Once service has begun, we'll be making announcements on social media channels. So once service has begun, we will be making announcements. That sounds like once the game is live, they're going to tweet after the fact. So I guess keep an eye on the Apple and Google Play stores, because they make it sound like here that they're not going to announce that it's out before it's actually out. It'll probably be like within an hour after it goes live. But let's go over everything here. So, latest update regarding service launch number 3. That's kind of funny. We are currently in the final stages of the Japanese and English versions of the game and plan to launch it in the near future. So I want to talk about that real quick, because my immediate thought here when I saw that was that makes it sound like it's going to be 2 different versions, which it technically is, but I don't think that necessarily means that it is a split server. Originally, that was my thought. I was like, okay, so English and Japanese are going to be split, so that kind of sucks. But that could just mean that for just like congestion reasons, when people are, downloading the game, that you essentially launch the game from the separate regions. But like, for example, if you hop into like PvP or raids and stuff, you could still get matched with people from other countries. So I don't think that we won't know until the game is actually out. Why does my mouse keep moving? Stop that. I don't think that necessarily means that they're going to be separate. So people who are already, I've already seen people in like Discords and, just on Twitter being like, oh, well, I'm playing Japanese version day 1 because I don't want to lose my account. But honestly, having that kind of mindset is not very healthy for the game, because if everyone who speaks English, has that mindset, then of course the English version is going to die because no one's going to be playing it. So unless we actually put an effort on the English version, then it's not going to survive anyway. But I do feel like the English version, even if it is separate, 2 completely separate servers, because maybe, that many people on one server could just create issues, I think it'll still be fine, because Tales of Link, and I've seen people comment this, and they're most of the time wrong when they say Tales of Link died early. Tales of Link did not die early. What happened was the Japanese version launched a year first, and then the English version caught up to the Japanese version. And then when the story of Link ended, so the main story, the game announced its termination, because they had told the story they wanted to tell, and probably the money they were making was enough. So both versions shut down together. It wasn't the English version wasn't making enough money. Tales of the Rays, however, shut down early because there was no promotion, people weren't spending the money, and that's the issue with equipment gotchas. You get the characters for free, so people aren't as inclined to spend money, especially with how free to play the English version of Rays was. And plus, we already know that this game's going to do a ton better than Rays did, because we hit the 500,000 pre-registration mark pretty easily, and Tales of the Rays only had like 120,000 downloads during its entire lifespan for the global version. So I don't think there's anything to worry about whether the servers are separate or not. But let's continue. The profound story experience revolving around the keyword sin, and above all, the long-awaited day with Kanata's adventures will soon be here. We hope you'll wait just a while longer until final preparations for your departure are complete. I see people, there were people in the comments already, complaining. It's like, oh, it's an announcement for another announcement. But I think that this is a good... Let's finish everything here, and then I'll talk about when I think the game is going to drop. Because I honestly think we're probably less than 2 weeks away from the game actually being able to be downloaded to our phones. In addition, in order to synchronize the start of the service worldwide, we plan to allow the game to be installed from the store before service starts. So a lot of gacha games do this, where you'll be able to download the game like a day or 2 before the servers go live. And the reason that they do this is that, so the servers themselves of people downloading the game from the Apple Store, everything doesn't just crash, day one. So people having the games downloaded, having all the data on their phones will save a lot of time and headache for when the game actually goes live. So let's say, for example, that the Apple date of July 22nd is still what they're aiming for. We could see let me look at my calendar real quick. We could see on the 20th, which is a Monday, like maybe when it hits Monday, Sunday night, Monday morning, we're going to be able to download it. And then it'll tell us when we boot up the game, still in maintenance, game will go live this time, this day. So that's what's probably going to happen there. We'll be doing maintenance until the service starts, so we hope you can wait for the start information on the official social media account and site. So that's pretty much I hope there's something in the game, if we have the game on there. If it just says in maintenance with no time, that'll be kind of weird. But yeah, so that's it for that. The other day, the number of pre-registrations exceeded 1 million worldwide. Okay, that's cool. Thank you to everyone who registered in advance. So that pretty much means that, because we hit 500,000 for both, well, that's weird, because both pre-registration campaigns hit 500,000. So they have to be way more than 1 million then, because if English players hit 500,000 on their own, then there's no way that the Japanese side isn't way higher. Thank you to, unless they mean like collectively, so there's 1 million Japanese and 1 million English. Thank you to everyone who pre-registered in advance. We would like to thank you all who've been waiting for a long time. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So that's pretty much everything to kind of go over here. I've already kind of described why, even if the versions are separate or whether they're not, I don't think there's any cause for concern. The people who are immediately like, oh, gotta play the Japanese version, I think it's silly to have that mindset starting out, because it's already been proven that this game is going to do infinitely better than Global Rays did. We have the promotion. We have the people who are ready to download the game. There's no way, if they had the same PR that Tales of the Rays had, we wouldn't have hit 500,000 downloads or pre-registrations. There's no way. And, there's lots of gacha games who still only have like 100,000 downloads that are still surviving to this day, and they've been out for years. Obviously, Crestoria is a more graphically heavy game, but I do think that, probably within the first month or two of the game being out, it'll definitely hit, even just on the English side, over 1 million downloads. So I'm not really too worried about anything there. When I first had this thought like a year ago, that the servers might be separate, I originally was like, oh crap, I'm going to have to run 2 accounts like I did with Rays, but I'm not going to do that. If the worst happens and the English version shuts down after a year or two, then I'll start a Japanese version account and move on from there. But I don't think that that's going to be an issue, because they're putting so much promotion for Tales of Crestoria, even in their official, the official anniversary post has Crestoria in there on the English trailer. So it's obvious that it's a game that they plan to have a long-running kind of relationship with for both English and Japanese. So I'm really not that worried about what's going to happen with the English side of Crestoria. But yeah, so the Apple date is still July 22nd. So the way they word this, it's kind of hard to really tell when exactly the game is going to be out. You got people complaining, thinking it's not going to be till October, but they wouldn't be telling us about the service starting stuff if it was still going to be like 3 months away. I think that this game will definitely be out by the end of July. I could be wrong, but the way they word everything here, it makes it sound like they're going to be giving us the ability to download the game relatively soon, probably within the next week or two. And then a few days after that, have the servers go live. So that's pretty much everything to kind of talk about here. I'm interested to know what everyone else thinks. If you guys are, I know a lot of people's hype has died down, because honestly, today is the 14th of July. Our last news post was on June 4th, so that's a month and 10 days that we have heard nothing. And then they had this Una birthday post, which a lot of people posted angry stuff at. And to be honest, with stuff like this, it's not like the person who runs the social media account can just post whenever they want. Like if they hear in a board meeting that it's like, oh, well, they said that this is going to be happening, I may as well tweet about it. That's not how that works. The person who runs the account has to get the okay from higher ups. to even tweet anything. And it's usually the same thing, because you see this here, and then if we go to the Japanese Crestoria Twitter, it's literally the exact same thing. You know, the wording is slightly different, but it's pretty much the same thing. Which obviously this side has a lot more likes and tweets and stuff. Yeah. So even on the Japanese side, it says 722. But that's what'll be nice, is when the game is actually downloadable, even before the servers go live, we'll be able to tell if they're going to be separate servers or not, especially for someone like me who has an Android. So I'll download the actual game from the English version from the Google Play Store, and then I will go to Q app, and then I will go to the Japanese version of the game. And if it lets me download the Japanese version alongside the English, then they're separate servers. But if it tells me I already have the game downloaded, then it's the exact same game. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Just a quick little update. I know it kind of sucks that it's an update for an update, but I do think we're in our kind of final stretch for when this game is coming out. I definitely think within the next 2 weeks that we will be playing this game and enjoying it, and it'll be a fun time. Like I mentioned in previous videos, I will not be uploading story portions. I'll be recording my entire story playthrough of Crestoria through the whole life of this game in video form. Maybe once we're caught up on the story, because I think there's like 4 to 6 chapters at the start of the game. Maybe once we start getting updates, I'll think about doing live streams, kind of like I do with Ray's. But I think in the beginning, because of how much story there is, I don't want to spend like 6 hours each day, you know, grinding story for like 2 weeks on a live stream to get all caught up. Plus, I'm not in any rush to do the story. So I just want to kind of take it easy and enjoy it. You know, we'll get through it when we get through it. But as for other content, I'll definitely have some tower mode stuff, some PvP stuff. I did some breakdowns from the beta, but I definitely want to, you know, kind of build some teams and see what's going to happen with each week of the PvP seasons and everything, as well as forming my guild once the game launches. So that's going to be it, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.